Today's episode is devoted to the events of the past week, which at first glance belong to different categories: a strong earthquake, a hydrothermal eruption, a ground collapse, and waves of abnormal heat in different parts of the planet. But if we look at the overall picture rather than at separate episodes, the main question arises: what could connect geodynamic processes deep within Earth's interior with temperature anomalies on its surface? The answer is hidden in the part of the planet that humanity has studied the least. It is from there that a chain of processes begins, capable of influencing the global climate picture. Russia. Many regions of Russia were affected by a wave of destructive storms. Severe weather dealt a serious blow to southern Russia. In Kuban, on May 25th, heavy downpours quickly flooded streets and courtyards, while in the village of Starokorsunskaya and the settlement of Yablonovsky, hail the size of a quail egg fell. It left dents and scratches on cars and damaged plantings. In Krasnodar, parts of the streets disappeared underwater and traffic was severely disrupted. Severe weather also struck the cities of Pyatigorsk, Mineralnye Vody, Yessentuki, and other settlements in Stavropol Krai. Large hail, in some places reaching the size of a chicken egg, damaged crops and cars, while strong winds knocked down trees and tore down power lines. Power outages occurred in a number of settlements. In Rostov-on-Don, according to the city administration, strong winds with gusts of up to 25 meters per second knocked down 65 trees and large branches. Among those injured was a boy on whom a dry tree fell at a playground. He was taken to the hospital. Another victim was a man inside a car that was struck by a large fallen branch. In the city of Taganrog, within just a few hours, the emergency number 112 received more than 3,000 calls from residents reporting power outages, broken wires, and fallen trees. In Astrakhan, the consequences of the storm were tragic. At a construction site, a tower crane collapsed during strong winds, killing the crane operator who was inside the cabin. The stormy weather also left severe consequences in the regions of the Volga area and western Siberia. A thunderstorm with heavy rain, hail, and hurricane-force winds that struck Udmurtia on May 27th led to the death of a woman in the Balazinski district. She tried to take shelter in a greenhouse on her property, but the structure could not withstand the force of the storm. As a result of the severe weather, the roofs of 80 private houses, 40 apartment buildings, and 2 stores were damaged. Windows were broken and fences were damaged at 3 schools and 2 kindergartens. More than 60 trees and several utility poles fell onto roadways. 4 settlements were temporarily left without water due to the shutdown of pumping stations. An unusual phenomenon for Tatarstan was observed on May 29th on the Volga River, where several large waterspouts formed over the river in different places. In Tyumen on the 28th, squally winds knocked out a balcony frame in one building and tore bricks from the facade of another. A tower crane collapsed at a construction site. Even a stone monument was damaged by the powerful gusts. One of its slabs fell and split. Because of the storm, 15 settlements were left without electricity. On May 26th, in Perm Krai, a schoolgirl tragically died during a storm. Together with her classmates, she was celebrating the last school bell. Because of the thunderstorm and strong wind, the teenagers took shelter on a beach, where a birch tree fell on the girl. Sadly, she died in front of her friends. Starting on May 27th, several more regions of the Urals came under the impact of a powerful storm. After a hot day, the weather deteriorated sharply. Squally winds rose, dust storms formed in some areas, and heavy rains with thunderstorms and hail swept through. In Chelyabinsk, wind gusts reached 21 meters per second. Around 150 trees were knocked down, and in 31 cases they tore down power lines. Cars, the roof of an administrative building, and the white sail beach canopies were damaged. On one street, a huge branch pierced the windshield of a car. Fortunately, no one was inside. The storm posed the greatest danger on the water. In Chelyabinsk Oblast, rescuers evacuated 10 people from lakes after they had been paddleboarding and could not return to shore on their own because of the intensifying wind. However, the storm did not pass without tragic consequences. A woman died on Lake Smolino in Chelyabinsk. In Sverdlovsk Oblast, hurricane-force winds knocked down numerous trees, overturned fences, tore down signs and power lines, and damaged the roofs of a school and a technical college. In Yekaterinburg, tram service was temporarily halted after trees fell onto the overhead contact network. A construction fence fell on one passerby. The injured man sustained injuries and was taken by ambulance to a medical facility. Costa Rica. A large ground collapse formed on the evening of May 27th on National Route number 27. The cause was intense rainfall, which led to the collapse of a culvert beneath the road. As a result, a sinkhole about 6 meters deep formed, blocking traffic in both directions. National Route number 27 is the country's most important toll highway, connecting the capital, San Jose, with the port of Caldera on the Pacific coast and the resort beaches of Punta Arenas province. The ground collapse completely paralyzed traffic on the highway, causing traffic jams stretching for many kilometers and major delays for freight and passenger vehicles. Authorities quickly closed the dangerous section, while traffic was redirected along the older and slower Pan-American Highway through the Cambronero Pass. To partially restore traffic, a prefabricated Bailey Bridge was installed at the collapse site with a reversible traffic scheme for passenger vehicles. According to the authorities, full restoration of the road will require complex and lengthy engineering work. Chile. A powerful magnitude 6.9 earthquake occurred on May 25th in northern Chile. Its epicenter was located 20 kilometers northeast of the city of Calama in the Antofagasta region at a depth of 114 kilometers. Seismic shaking with an intensity of up to 6 on the Mercalli scale was felt in 3 other regions of the country: Arica and Parinacota, Tarapacá and Atacama, as well as in neighboring Peru. The main earthquake was followed by a series of aftershocks. Within several hours, seismologists recorded more than 45 tremors with magnitudes of up to 4.3. Landslides and rockfalls occurred on roads between settlements. In the city of Calama, the earthquake left visible traces. Windows were broken in homes, fences were knocked down, roofs of old buildings were damaged, and goods fell from shelves in supermarkets. Around 70% of residential buildings lost power. In addition, water supply disruptions affected approximately 4,000 people. As a result of damage to the building's structural elements, the operations of the COSAM Mental Health Center were temporarily suspended. In total, 7 schools in the Antofagasta region were damaged, as well as a church in the town of Maria Elena. Landslides were recorded in mining areas, affecting production sites. As a precaution, workers were evacuated from the Zaldivar mine, located in the heart of the Atacama Desert. Dense dust clouds were observed in the famous Chuquicamata mining district. Mexico. A loud bang heard on the evening of May 25th in the settlement of El Salitre in the state of Michoacán alarmed local residents and people nearby. A 15-meter fountain of hot mud, water, stones, and steam suddenly burst from the depths of the earth. Soon afterward, a sharp smell of sulfur appeared in the area. The eruption occurred on a farm, killing several pigs, while 13 people and the remaining animals were evacuated to a safe place. At first, local residents and some media outlets suggested that the incident was connected to the formation of a new geyser or the beginning of volcanic activity. However, after several hours, the intensity of the emissions decreased significantly. Only a bubbling mud pool remained at the site, with gases continuing to escape from it. After examining the situation, specialists concluded that this was a hydrothermal manifestation connected with the movement of hot underground water, steam, and gases along the Ixtlan Fault. A protective perimeter with a radius of about 30 meters was established around the main source. Specialists identified several more areas with active gas release and bubbling. 3 in the area of the initial eruption and 8 in the surrounding territories. In some points, the temperature reached about 86 degrees Celsius, while analysis showed the presence of small concentrations of ammonia, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. Technical service specialists note that the process remains active, so preventive monitoring of the area continues. Abnormal heat. In France, the most intense May heat period ever recorded in the region was documented. In just a few days, around 2,000 temperature records were broken, and in many places the deviation from the climatic norm reached 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. On May 28th, Bordeaux recorded a temperature of 36.4 degrees Celsius, setting a new May record for the city and surpassing the previous maximum established in 1922. In some parts of the country, daytime temperatures exceeded 37 degrees Celsius, while the nights were so warm that they met the criterion for tropical nights. Even outside cities, where it is usually cooler, thermometers did not fall below 20 degrees Celsius. On the Iberian Peninsula, the air temperature at an altitude of 1,500 meters reached 22 degrees Celsius, deviating significantly from the climatic norm. In Paris and its suburbs, amid abnormal heat and deteriorating air quality, authorities reduced the speed limit on a number of highways by 20 kilometers per hour and recommended that residents work remotely whenever possible and reduce the number of trips.
Really different, even this temperature
On the popular Paris to Nice railway route, passengers spent several hours in overheated train cars without air conditioning. After some people began experiencing breathing problems because of the heat, the train was stopped and emergency services arrived at the scene. According to media reports, the delay reached almost 4 hours. On May 31st, during a 10-kilometer race in the city of Maisons-Alfort, near Paris, a man died, and 10 other participants were hospitalized in serious condition. Trying to escape the heat, people rushed en masse to bodies of water, including places not intended for swimming. Sadly, 5 people drowned. Across the country as a whole, the abnormal heat led to the deaths of at least 7 people. The United Kingdom also experienced a period of extreme heat, during which national records were broken for both maximum and minimum temperatures. During the day on May 26th, the temperature at the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew, in London reached 35.1 degrees Celsius, breaking the May record that had stood for more than 80 years. A representative of the Met Office noted that such values are exceptional for the United Kingdom, even at the height of summer, let alone in May. On the day of peak heat, the average maximum temperature across the country was 26.5 degrees Celsius, while the norm for late May is about 16 degrees Celsius. A difference from the norm of more than 10 degrees Celsius on a nationwide scale shows just how extreme this weather event was in a historical context. On certain sections of railway lines, restrictions were introduced or services were cancelled because of overheating tracks and equipment. During the record heat, water consumption increased significantly. According to the water supply company, on May 25th, almost 100 million liters more water than usual for this period was used. Because of this, local reservoirs and pipelines could not replenish quickly enough, pressure in the network dropped, and some homes, especially those located on higher ground or at the end of the water supply line, were temporarily left without a stable water supply.
I work in the Age UK building. I work for a local charity, Canterbury District.
Starting on May 25th, extreme heat spread across significant areas of the historical Jiangnan region and the southern regions of China. In the cities of Fuzhou and Changsha, temperatures exceeded 35 degrees Celsius much earlier than the long-term average dates. The nighttime anomaly was also pronounced. On the night of May 26th, thermometers in many areas remained above 25 degrees Celsius. In the city of Yingtan, Jiangxi Province, the nighttime temperature in May rose above 30 degrees Celsius for the first time in the entire observation period in the region. For 2 consecutive days in the city of Changning, Hunan Province, the daily minimum temperature did not fall below 30 degrees Celsius, making it a unique case in the entire history of meteorological observations. Meteorologists note that nighttime temperatures of around 30 degrees Celsius and higher are usually observed in July and August, the hottest period of the year, which is why such an early occurrence is considered abnormal. On May 26th, according to data from 297 national weather stations, temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius were recorded, and readings above 40 degrees Celsius were registered at 3 stations. 7 weather stations set absolute temperature records for the month of May. Residents of Guangxi Province described the current weather as abnormally hot, noting that spending just 5 minutes outdoors was enough to leave them sweating for 2 hours afterward. The early heat caused a significant increase in electricity consumption in southern China, where, amid high levels of industrial production and consumer activity, the main factor was the widespread use of air conditioners. On May 25th, the load on the power system reached a new historic maximum, amounting to 259 million kilowatts. It should be noted that in previous years, peak electricity consumption in the region occurred in June or July, but this time such a level was recorded almost 1 month earlier than usual.